Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Narcissistic. I am your host, Dr. Yaya Marie, and I would like to say thank you to everyone listening on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much. If you're on YouTube, thank you for coming in and listening. If you would like to come up and share or chime in, the link is on the banner on the screen. Now, tonight. Oh, wait. I'm so rude. Let's bring up the panel. Doot, doot. How are you doing, Michael?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm helping a colleague move, and I'm taking a break so I can tuck into the show tonight, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you're here. What about you, Demi?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing
Relax.
great.
Listening to thunderstorms, so hopefully I don't go out. So
Oh wow. Okay. We're gonna hope so too because it's raining here, but it's not that bad. But let's hope it doesn't get that bad.
do that over here.
Okay, so now let's get right into it. Tonight's topic is titled "The Fate of the Narcissist Family." The fate of the narcissist family. This is such a hot topic because of course, we know the narcissists in their wicked ways. They're also backed up or enabled by their family members, friends, cousins, co-workers, and the like. I mean, anyone who would actually listen to the narcissist tell them about you in the smear campaign. I mean, they will pull anyone in. And shout out to Narc Free Living, Shannon, who made this comment. View this topic here. Yes, it is. It's a good one. It's a good one. And shout out to her and her husband over there at Narc Free Living. When I went to their live the other Wednesday, I actually caught the tail end of her husband's live, and they just like welcomed me, with open arms, and they were actually, nice. And I really appreciate her and her husband for, even tuning in or, just being there for me also. And even if it's virtually. So, shout out to her and Narc Free Living. It's also an awesome channel. All right. So back to our topic tonight. Tonight's topic is titled "The Fate of the Narcissist Family." Do you think that will go unpunished? Oh, no, 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 my dear. They will not. They're not exempt. They are not exempt. I didn't even know. Hi, Shannon. She said, "Bless you. We need more people speaking the truth." That's right. The more people on board with this truth, because there is a link between the spirit realm and narcissism. Now, you're not going crazy. To anyone that's listening, you're not crazy. You're not seeing things. You're not hearing things. This is the real deal. What you have encountered is not just something that is a narcissist type of agree. Oh, hey, Mike. How are you? I hope you're doing good on your side of town. But when you're dealing with narcissistic abuse, there is something going on behind the scenes, and it is in the spirit realm. And this is why I always say this relationship that you are in, this is a setup. It is a setup from Satan himself. It's a setup to not only throw you off of your path, but you won't even get to your path messing with a narcissist. I mean, what path? This is what the narcissist is. The narcissist is basically a vessel, a vessel in human form to distract, delay your destiny. That's it in a nutshell. Of course, there's more to it, but when you encounter this type of spirit, you have to be able to recognize the repetition, We always talk on this show about the synchronicities, the things that, the narcissist would have known. And I actually talked about that where recently I encountered a python or divination spirit. I mean, yeah, it's that serious. And for people that think it's not that serious, I'm here to tell you, yes, it is that serious. Okay, but I digress. Now, when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, often you are chosen because of the fuel you give. That may be in the form of finances or attention or just good company when a narcissist is bored. Now, your intentions with a narcissist may have been good, meaning you thought that you actually, truly found someone, a companion that actually loves you for you. And, this is, something that you may have prayed for. Now, here's the kicker. Your love for the narcissist, that came from you and you were genuine. The narcissist, on the other hand, they were addicted to the way you made them feel. It wasn't because their love was genuine. And the point of this show is, or tonight's show is to say that the narcissist is not the only one who manipulates you into basically bowing down to their wishes. They aren't the only ones that has their hand into the manipulation. The family plays a role in willing you in to this web of deception. The family may have told you, oh, I never saw my son or my daughter so happy until they got with you. Or you two are made for each other. You're an angel. You're a godsend to this family. This is especially true if you are the main source of fuel or supply to that narcissist family, meaning you have resources that they may want or may benefit from. Now, with that being said, the family knows that the narcissist isn't relationship material. They know they have a screw loose and they're not the brightest crayon in the box. The family knows that. They know this. The family knows about the past relationships, the side chicks or side dudes, the history of abuse, whether it be physically or emotionally. They know all of that because, number one, they have seen the narcissist's true colors. They've seen them unmask themselves before. And number two, they had a hand in enabling the narcissist. They had a hand in enabling the narcissist. Now, if you really think about, here Shannon says, "You're our teaching. We thought we found love. It wasn't love at all. No, it was not." And she also says he's a good man, Savannah. But oh yeah, whole time. See, this is a thing. The whole time they are Dr. Jekyll, Mrs. Hyde behind closed doors, and they put on this facade, especially for the family, because they want the target, which is you. They want the target to feel comfortable in front of the family. Would anyone like to chime in before I move on?
So you're saying that they're putting on a front with your family or their family? Because I found it to be true for both.
Yeah, I would say both because, when you're dealing with a narcissist, they actually have a mask for their family, a mask for you, a mask for your family. Mm-hmm. This is all the way around. I mean, the mask keeps switching. And this is why they... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. At the same time, when you talk about how the family knows their reputation, I mean, I was in a situation where the mother was more inclined to be that narc, quote unquote narc, but the sister, she was the mean one. She was the one that was the opposite of. She just hated me. It's like I was in the way. So I don't know if that was the same type of deal going on. She just knew
You know
that.
what I'm getting from your statement? He probably put on a front or a mask for
Mhm.
that sister. He smeared your name with that sister.
Yes,
That's
he
what
did.
I'm thinking. And that's
Yes,
why
he
she
did.
had that shift in attitude toward you.
Right.
You see?
Right. And with the mother, it was like, oh, I really think it's the one. Blah, 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 blah. But with the
Yeah.
sister, he was
He had
too.
to fake the funk with the mother because
Right.
yeah, that sounds like some real,
Oh, that
issues
was because
with
the
his
sister was just
childhood.
really. Every time I looked at her, every time I was in her presence, you could feel the tension, and
Wow.
she hated me. And I
Oh
never
my
understood that,
goodness.
but I'm this type of person where, I just ignore negative content. I
Oh,
would
she
act,
hated you
I
because
really
of
didn't
what he said during the smear campaign.
right.
That's why.
I never like questioned. I was just I don't know, I'm not that type of person to be confrontational about situations. I just took it for the grain of salt and said, okay, that's a sister. She's being a sister, quote unquote sister with her brother kind of deal. I never
Mm,
thought it to be something where he smear campaigned me.
wow. Oh yeah. Yeah,
Looking
because
back,
think about it when you have a different taste in your mouth when you
right?
hear something about a person. Now they're looking at you funny.
Exactly. And so that when we fast forward, I go, wow, that's something where they play both sides with even their family members.
Yeah, being double-minded and like using the word like that, the misuse of the word, it's so egregious. And like, I think the thing to recognize the most about the narcissistic family is that supply is important to all of them, and the supply is different by degree. So what I mean by that is like, yeah, there's always a smear campaign going on within the family system because it's that dysfunctional, even though like on the surface level everything may appear to be normal or
Right,
functional,
right.
like it's systemic. And so like there is a smear campaign going on, but there's also a jealousy going on too because of the supply that the sister gets from
Mm,
the brother and that the brother gets from the sister.
mm,
And like when somebody else, it's like adding another ingredient into a recipe. You
right.
know what I mean? It changes the whole thing. And it's all well and good for a time, but it's surface level. And the thing about the mask is
Oh,
that it's like Russian dolls. If you've ever opened one before, you open it
mhm,
up and there's another doll all the way down to the
another
bottom.
dog.
So the masks are absolutely like that too. And like the thing that I am becoming most recognizing in my current situation is that behind all the masks is a very sad and weak person. And
Mm,
all of these masks are fronts or barriers. And like once you get to that base level,
mm.
like you can see, and like this is different by degree too, because like there are some people that are just, I mean, mean. Like
Oh,
they use manipulation and deception
oh,
in the worst possible way. And like I know there's some people that are ignorant to their own actions, doesn't absolve them of them, but that's the worst type
oh,
of
yeah,
narc. It's the one
yeah,
that's like legitimately like going at you.
oh,
And the family knows that person and like they set you up for the fall guy or the scapegoat or whatever it is, and the reveal happens on the last set when like everybody's been smeared and like now you're just like trashed. And
wow.
it's just so it's terrible thing. And I know Mike's listening and I know he can feel it too because he's in the same boat.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
feel him
Yeah.
listening. But
Shout
it's
out to
also
Mike.
too, you can see the dynamics within the family too. They're mean to each other. And then the dude was talking about the sister to me, what's going on. It was just a whole crazy deal. I don't know if it was fake or
Mhm.
not, but he would say he would smear campaign her to me,
Yeah.
and they would keep a triangle between us. But I never like, you know,
Oh,
it
that
was
that triangle is super
oh,
dangerous because
dangerous.
let me tell you what, like the thing is they got something going on between themselves, but the
Hmm.
sharpest edge of that triangle is the
Hmm.
one that pierces you
Exactly.
every time, right? Because like you become that fall guy.
That's how I felt. Looking back, I felt to be the fall guy. But every
Wow.
time I would come in her presence, her face would look at me like this be, this bee, like, oh, she's
Mhm.
coming between us, like it was. And then the thing that when she would leave, he would say things about her, what she said about me, and make me feel like, oh,
Wow.
okay, I know I'm outside looking in. I always regarded, oh, that's your sister. No one can come between. It's like a parent to a child. You couldn't come
Mhm.
between a child and a parent. So that's how I looked at it. But it was much more than that because he was spearheading.
That's such a weird dynamic. I mean, if I had a sister or a brother, I
Mm.
would want. Most of you know I'm the only child syndrome in the house. If I had a sister or brother, I mean, I would want them to, okay, be with. I want have a good relationship with someone.
Right. Let
I
me
mean,
talk
it's
to the
just
guy. Let
hard.
me get to know him.
Yeah,
Wouldn't pass judgments before I knew him. But you're talking behind a person's back to them. And I never really had a one-on-one with a sister. In all the 3 years that I ever was with this person, this narc, never had a one-on-one
wow.
with the sister. Looking back, mind you, this has been more than 10 years ago, and I'm thinking about it like, wait a minute, I never really talked to the sister. And we never
Mm,
had that one-on-one. We never went up to lunch, dinner, nothing.
that's so strange.
It goes to show you how this dynamic is so poignant. It's so
Mhm.
true to the narcissist, and how they keep their own little shelves and look like little synchronous. How do you say, little dividends of their life? They know
So
how
they're
to
really
keep
private
them.
people. You never really know a narcissist.
No, they're very
Um,
private.
yeah, they
Very
are. Go
private.
ahead,
Want to
Michael.
know everything else about other people, but they're very private about their own little system in their lives, their family system.
And the family system is a closed system, and like
Right.
like instantly you have to be pay attention to red flags,
Mm-hmm.
gossip and shaming,
Mm.
and is the instant red flag. And if you know the family system thrives off of gossip and
Yes.
shaming,
Yes.
you
Right.
know that they're doing it within their own family
Oh,
system, and
yes.
you know as soon as you leave the room they're doing it with you too.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and and that is just like the worst possible way to
Worst.
be. And it's like it's so weird because like it's like hunky dory, like everything looks good on the outside, all warm and wholesome, but it's
Mm-hmm.
really and truthfully what it is they're looking for someone to
That's
sacrifice
right.
to
That's
keep
right.
the family system wholesome. So like in many ways that's like what that person becomes when they enter the family, is the
The
sacrificial lamb.
sacrificial lamb.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's
That's
in Japanese they call it death by a thousand cuts, right? So it's
mm.
like they're gonna cut you emotionally,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna cut your masculinity,
Yeah.
they're gonna cut your mind, and then they're gonna cut you down physically, affecting your finances. And
That's
then
right.
once you're completely gone, the whole family, not just the narc, throws
Mm-hmm.
you in the trash.
And then
That's right.
add to just not the family, if they have their friends involved with that, their friends of the family
That's right.
partake in that too. Because I do remember they were close, quote unquote, close friends that knew of the family, and you would have the close friends come in and say, "Oh yeah, his sister, I know his family." So they'll have that bandwagon along with their family, the
That's
friends
right.
of the family involved in their whole little system. And I think about it, I was like, again, this poor little lamb being sacrificed for their
That
own
just
little.
reminded me of what Shannon, what she said. The scapegoat is the one they
Mhm.
label crazy,
Mm,
and whole time you're speaking the truth. And the scapegoat doesn't always have to be like a child or anything like that. It could
no.
actually be, for anyone that's listening, a scapegoat could also be you as the family's target. It
Wow.
doesn't always have to be someone in, the family, lineage, as in a son or a daughter. And
Woo.
Poppy says, "Hi, how you doing? I
Hi,
hope
Poppy.
everything's good over there up there in Toronto." He says, yes, they protect the family image. They're so fake. That is 100% true. Narc free living. Shannon, she says, bonding through gossip.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
let's see.
Anybody can get it. Yep.
Yes, right. And then we have shaman. Yep, shaman of truth. They are so demonic. 100% true. I boldly stand by that one.
Yes.
Poppy said, "You're so lucky." Maybe because when I said I was the only child, I mean, it has its perks, I suppose. I mean, I and then Mike said, I am starting to see things way different. I ignored the red flags for so long. Shaman says, yes, slandering, shaming, bullying, smear campaigning. They will even try and set you up to get you killed. Like my evil family. I walk alone forever because people won't understand. Now, wait a minute. Shaman of truth, we're going to change that narrative about walking alone forever. We're going to reverse that and say you walk with like-minded people in the name of the Most High.
That's right.
Exactly, because there's people like us out there. There is people that have been through this trauma, been through we are alone, but we have a community, but we're not dealing with narcissists, and we're not going to be, we're not going to make it seem like, okay, well, we're going to walk alone because of this, because a lot of times this spirit behind them wants us to be alone, and the devil is a lie.
Yes,
we are, we're not going to be alone all of our life. We are not. We're going to find people. We're going to communicate. We're going to have a life where we can have fellowship. We're not going to be, and I say that, with love. And I'm glad that you're here also. And where can we find like-minded people? Barbara, hello, hey, right here. Even if it is virtually, it still matters because why? We think about the word. Like a couple of lives ago, I talked about the power of your words. So where two or more are gathered, the Messiah is right here in the midst of us.
Yes.
Amen.
Right? Like we have a community. We have, and I'm guilty of feeling like this too, because just like I started with the show in earlier, I'm like, man, I reach out to people and nobody hit me back up. I'm thinking, I'm like, come on, like somebody, let's talk, let's like-minded people and things like that. And I'm telling you, don't give up. We are out here. It's a small community. Don't get me wrong. It's not a lie.
Years ago, because I didn't think that it was something that bothered me from years ago. I didn't think about it. I mean, I've been out of that relationship that I talk about, and that's one of two. I'm not a person that go from person to person. I will seek someone, or someone seeks me, and we'll be in a relationship, and we're court, and then you get into this, person, and you go back and forth and I'm like one person at a time. I don't go one person, another person. But this has been like, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago when I talk about this person, maybe 10 years ago. And I think about just the Hoover, and they still Hoover. They still Hoover.
We talked about that now. Now that Hoover, it comes spiritually. That the spirit does not die.
No.
When your physical body goes to, it's gone. Your physical body is gone. Your spirit is still, it's still there. And that could be a good spirit or a demonic, evil demon.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter how much time goes on.
Concept of time.
Right. So being that they don't have a concept, or there's no concept of time as we know it, as in like us, our human fleshly body knows it. We don't have that. They don't have that. So 10 years could come by. 15 years could come by. That same spirit that tried to get you in the first place could have been in your family lineage. That same spirit will come back and say, hey, let me try this person. Let me go back to my old house. This is what's in Matthew. When the spirit leaves a person, it comes back to see if he can, re-enter.
It could be in a different
Yeah,
form.
he
Another
brings
person.
his seven nasty other spirits with
That's
him,
right.
and the person's
That is
far
right.
worse than they were to begin with. I just want
That's
to
why.
say, I'm reading what Shaman of Truth said, and I think it's so important to acknowledge how painful this is, because it's, you could talk about it to release it, and you
Right.
can find yourself on the other side of it, but it still hurts so very
Oh,
much.
yeah.
And as far as the misuse of the word, I mean, what the script that's being written by the director of this movie is the narc, but like, we have to recognize we're no extras in anybody's movie.
Mm,
This is our own show,
right.
and we can cancel them because they jumped the shark,
That's right.
and we're not interested.
That's
And
right.
so, like, when we say that we're alone, we're reading the script of the narc,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to replay that on a loop. We're in our own mind, in our own space.
That's
And
right.
like, I tell you, man, like, people's other words when they're like around you can be such obstacles and blocks.
Right.
Like, this isn't going to work. That can't happen. All these things. It's like, absolutely not, because with the Holy Spirit, anything is possible. And with faith and perseverance, it may not be today, tomorrow, or a year from now, but you're on the path and you're going to get there. And so, like, be gentle with yourself.
Exactly.
Really.
Forgive
Feel what
yourself.
you're feeling. It's important.
Yeah, we have to forgive ourselves first, if anything, because we're human. We want to be a relation. We want to be loved. We're not meant to be alone. Father said we're not meant to be alone. That's scripture. We're not. But at the same time, we have to trust in Him and pray for more discernment than we could ever handle, because we're that type of personality that they seek.
Yeah. And leave at the first red flag. Don't give
Bingo.
anyone the benefit of the doubt. A couple of lives ago, I talked about having pity. Don't have any. Listen here. Don't have any pity on a narcissist. Pray for him. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But does that mean you have to go back and do this and that with them? Don't have any pity on them, because let me tell you one thing. They don't have pity on you.
No, they don't.
And when you have in the scriptures, there's a lot of verses where the Most High Himself said, do not pity them. Don't pity them. Don't pity them. Cut them all off. So you do that. And I remember I shared this story before, what the Most High told me personally when it came to the narcissist that was in my life. And I'll never forget it. He said, now I did it the first time. Now it's your turn. Your turn. Don't have no pity on this person.
That's right.
All right.
We're gonna do it again.
It goes back to the snake, right? Did the snake pity Adam and Eve?
Oh,
definitely not.
Did Adam and Eve pity the snake?
He got what he got and went on about his business.
Right? So I mean, that's this, like, I tell you right now, it's the original sin is being repeated on a serial loop until we exit the loop.
That's right.
That's right.
Over and over again.
As early as you possibly can. I was fortunate in 3 years, and of course he says 4, because he's still thinking about me. Probably to this day, he probably says 6, 7 years, and I still say 3, because they still in their mind think they have you. And another narc,
all the time.
Earlier, like he hoovered me a couple of weeks ago, and left a message, because I disabled the message, and I caught it on how do you say deleted message? How do you say the message
was it blocked or you know how
I saw blocked because I'm not quick to change my phone number for nobody.
Definitely not.
So I blocked it, and luckily we're out of town. But I mean, I caught it on blocked messages. If this is you, call me back.
Now, when was the last time you talked to that person, though?
That person probably, oh my gosh, I can't even recall. Maybe.
And they just called out of the blue with that.
Out of the blue. I guess I'm on the Rotary for 6 months or something, or 8 months.
Well, there's a term for that. That's being zombied. He came back from the dead. Right?
Because I forgot.
Oh
I
my
didn't even recognize the phone number because I was like, wait a minute, what is this phone number again? I had to
Wow.
think about it.
My
If
goodness.
this is you, call me back. I'm like, oh, you. I can't say the words that I want to say.
I gotta say something. Like it's gonna be a brief pivot. Like so, just walk with me for a second. But like, let's talk about boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So the Narc's family, the Narc's sister tried to come on multiple dates.
Mm.
Now talk about that as like being a bizarre,
Wow.
like no boundaries within the family.
Wow. Multiple dates? Multiple?
Yeah, just separate times. It's like I'm just gonna show up and like showed up, and it was like, oh my god! I mean, you're here. Like this is like our time, right?
What?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like these are the things. Like what I guess what I'm trying to say is that the dysfunction in this family system is just so blatantly obvious that like you can like have rose-colored glasses all you want and like change the story over and over again because you really want the idea of the person.
Right.
But you have to accept who the person actually is. And that's the only way through that acceptance, you're going to accept your circumstance and move to a better circumstance, which is where you were supposed to be going.
Right. I get what you're saying. It's so sad. It's so sad.
I mean, you know what? And that's why I'm so grateful that I've had the experiences, even with the schooling and the academic side too as well. But you also have to have experience to get through this type of abuse.
Oh yeah.
This is not all textbook. Like this
No.
is the real deal. Like I've shared with you guys, even on it was TikTok or probably YouTube. I even recently, I still get hoovered to this day. With everything out online and things, books and all. That spirit does not care. But let me tell you something. Right now.
Are you there? Hello?
I think we lost you. Yeah.
Oh, are you here now?
There you are.
You're back.
That was strange. But I'll digress. You have to.
You was gonna say a big point and you disappeared.
Yeah, you have to resist. When that spirit or that narcissist comes back and tries to suck you in. I mean, how many times are you going to go through this roller coaster? I've talked to people, I mean, they're 30 years in deep. 30 years.
I cannot imagine. Years. I can't imagine. I'll be sick.
Well, listen, it's a lot of physically. The narcissist will basically brainwash you.
Oh my
God. It's easier said than done.
For sure.
Yes. But at the same time, this is what makes it easier. And let me tell you, knowledge. Through knowledge will the just be delivered. That's Proverbs 11:9. Through this knowledge, the knowledge that you're getting right now, the more information you learn about this type of person or entity, because this is an entity. And it's not just one, it's more than one in one. Okay. So the more knowledge you gain, you're going to say, wait a minute, I met this type of person before.
Right.
I've heard this before.
Right.
That's what's going to make it easier to walk away, not easier said than done. You see what I mean?
Well, it's so weird too, because like it becomes like a serial loop too. Like you exit the one narc relationship to enter another one, and like you sort of find yourself on this like loop repeat, and you're like, what am I doing here? Why is this happening?
Exactly.
And the thing is that like I just want to name it. Like, I mean, I personally like gone through the experience. Listen, this is not the school anybody wants to go to. It's the school Hard Knocks. It's a painful school. You don't know how to exit once you're in it because you haven't gone through the class yet. But let me tell you truthfully, this is legion that we're dealing with. I think the narcissist is legion. That's that pervasive spirit. And that's why it speaks with a singular mind and a singular action and behaves the same way.
Mm-hmm.
It's my
That's
personal opinion.
I mean, I noticed I noticed other relations. I'm at an apartment building when I see young people going through it. Like I see them going through the spells of this guy doing these things, and the female responding. The police come out, and the kids are. She's left by herself. The kids are in the home with the guy, and then I'm seeing it in my young people that I notice around me going through this narcissistic phenomenon, and they're not understanding what's happening. It's almost as if you see your life going through it again and again and again, and you want to scream out to them, look, see the red flags, know what you're going through.
They can't though. It's like the awako sleeper moment. I mean, I have like a brief story because I think it's very important to understand like why people can't get out of the situations they're in. Is that like
Go ahead, Michael.
Plato came up with this allegory 2,000 years ago, and it was that there's a group of people living in a cave, and so behind them. No, doesn't this sound like gaslighting and like narcissist? There's a fire behind them, and there are people that put puppets in front of the fire and project it onto the cave wall. So everybody in the cave believes that that's reality. And so it's intuitive. Like one of the group thinks, I've been facing forward my entire life. Let me turn around. Turns around, sees the fire, and is like, wait a minute.
That's not.
There's something behind me. Then sees the people holding the puppets and is like, what is going on? Whatever I'm seeing isn't real. So he gets up. Now, this is painful because when you've been sitting down your whole life, you can't move well. There's atrophy. So he finally gets up, moves past the fire and the people and the puppets, and they pay him no mind. And he leaves the cave. Now, he can't see a thing because it's too bright. And when the eyes adjust, he finally sees the world as it is, as in God created it, beautiful and true. And he decides, I'm going to go back and I'm going to save the rest of the villagers. And he goes back, and every single one in that cave wouldn't turn around. Wouldn't listen to him, didn't believe him, asked him to prove that there was a sun. Right? Because they can't get there until they're awake.
Until they're awake. Now, come on now.
But guess what? Like the rest of us, everybody in this circle, we're out of the cave. And guess what? When he finally gave up on them in the cave, he found like-minded people. And it didn't need to be a lot of people. But it was enough, right?
Enough. That's right. Incredible. You can't save everybody. You can't tell them what to do. It's like parenting a child. You can't save them from what's going to come. You just pray for them to understand what they have to do.
And that's like when a kid is jumping on the couch and you stop them 1,000 times.
1,001.
You like at one point like you kind of let them jump to feel, not like because you want to let them be hurt, because that's wrong, but you want them to understand natural consequences.
Exactly.
And so if you're always trying to like save somebody from something or solve the problem, no one ever realizes that they're a problem, and no one learns the lesson.
Oh, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me when a kid is jumping up and down on the sofa, on the couch, you don't push them and let them fall and then pretend to rescue them and say, hey, look what I did, like a narcissist does?
Well, I'll tell you what, like that allegory right there continues though. Oh my God. You hit it right there.
I mean,
what they would do.
And then you have to have a good moment, just the right angle where you pull them right up and say, hey, this is what I did.
I've even witnessed the people that I'm talking about, the young people in my complex, where I saw the child by himself walking out on the parking lot. And I'm thinking,
oh my goodness, wait, what?
By himself? Then I said, no, the parent must be walking ahead of them. Long story short, and I said, no, the kid couldn't have come out this outside and walked down the step because he could have been 3 years old, 2.5, 3. And I happened to see the kid nonchalantly walking through the park. I'm like, wait a minute, that kid can't be outside. And lo and behold, I see the father run out
Oh my
with
goodness.
another child running.
Wait,
looking for
wait
the
a
child.
minute.
I'm like, oh my God. So the kid did get out by himself. Like, was that on purpose or what? Because I still don't understand it.
Wait, hold on, wait. Let me just back up just a little, just a tad.
It's like you kind of think about, well, do people do things on purpose for their children to be out there? And you teach them, don't go outside, don't open the lock. But I mean,
Like Balloon Boy. Remember that? I don't know if that was back in the day where the father had this. Does anyone remember Balloon Boy? You know what I'm talking about? And then Mike says it's hard when there's kids involved. That is definitely true. And then it's hard. Go ahead.
Tell us about. I was gonna say, tell us about Balloon Boy, but I wanna talk about kids because it's so important.
That's another
Balloon Boy was there was a dad who was on, I believe it was Wife Swap back in the day. And what he did was, it was one of those type of shows. And what he did was he had like the air balloon where people get in to sightsee. Is it called an air balloon?
That's what you got it. Yeah, it's definitely an air balloon. Yeah.
Yeah, air balloon.
Where the people sightsee. And he supposedly, he said the little boy was in the balloon.
Right.
And he was just, the balloon was just going all across the United States.
I never thought the boy was in the balloon.
He was never in there. He was he had that boy in the basement. And the guy did all of that so he can get on TV.
On national news.
So he can, yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's
and they call him Balloon Boy.
I mean, like,
he wanted attention from the mother, or something or another. He wanted attention.
Yeah, it was something wild.
Yeah, they were going through divorce or something crazy or another, and he was upset that
Balloon Boy. It's an old. It was really when I was more so like a teenager. I remember hearing Balloon Boy, and I just thought it was so weird for somebody to do.
Extreme for a parent to do to get that much attention.
Well, didn't that just happen? Like, there's that whole TV story about the person who said there was a kid abducted. Like, people do the craziest things just to get attention. You know?
Oh yeah, that one.
And come to find out, that was because of a guy.
But,
yeah, we're not going to even touch on that because we're
off topic.
Narc Free Living says staying for the children does not work. They are under curses and witchcraft. I do agree with Narc Free Living. Staying for the children does not ever. It doesn't work. The children are healthier if they see two parents, getting along separately than being together fighting. So with that being said, I do have a lot of sympathy and empathy for parents that have to co-parent with a narcissist. The thing about it is that you have to set firm boundaries, and that narcissist will try you. They will try you as far as still being in a relationship, still being together. And then also Shaman of Truth says, and they love to make up memories that never happened. That is what Demi said. Because she always mentions, if you're Shaman, it looks like you're new to the show, but before we've had a lot of lives and they're all recorded. And I remember Demi saying something about the narcissist would say, yeah, it's been 4 or 5 years when it was actually 3, because that narcissist wants to feel satisfied by taking up the most time possible from your life.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's their thing. They want to be able to say they've taken away from your life And I
That's
was
right.
and I keep going back and forth in my mind saying that was the prime of my life, but I don't want to give that to that person
Yeah,
because the
I
prime of
actually did
my
a
life.
video on TikTok about how the narcissist comes in at the prime of your life,
And what
and
is the
that
prime
is
of your life?
true.
Like it's a matter of it's relative. Like you don't know what the prime of my life. I don't know what the prime of my life. I thought that
Well,
was the
they're
prime of my life.
monitoring spirits, so
I thought
you
that
know.
was not right now. I believe now is how prime of my life. Now that I know what's going on, because
Right.
I'm
So
happy
she,
being single and free and chilling and being able to walk around butt naked. I can't say that, but but like nobody bother me and all this drama going on. I'm so happy that I don't have to answer to no one. But at the
well,
same
that's
time,
good.
I
That's
love the
good.
conversation. I would love to have someone to go out to dinner with and go to a movie with and hang and do little things and travel with. But that, hey, I do that with my family, with my grandkids. So I'm still getting it. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be a type of thing with another person, other of opposite sex. It can be with my family. So
yeah,
it's
that's good.
all in how you relate it to be the prime of your life. Because if they said it's the prime of their life, no, that wasn't part of my life, sweetie, because you took me through some stuff.
Well, let's keep it PG, and then
I'm trying
all
my
right, let me read these comments. I'm gonna just put you on mute. All right, so to make themselves act like they were so kind to you, they actually expect you to role play along with their lives. I am a whistleblower, 100% true. And then Mike says he's talking to Narc Free Living, Shannon. I am learning this and just putting my faith in God that the kids will see my actions someday and see out. Oh, yes, they will definitely see that you're trying. Yes. This is the thing.
yes,
Children and everyone knows that my background is special education. This is how I started out on TikTok doing special education videos. And I got so many questions about narcissism. I'm like, okay, well, let me just gravitate here then. And I'm telling you, children are more resilient than people think. Children are resilient, they're
that's true.
observant, they actually take in things and they know how to use information. One thing about children that I love, and I always loved working with children, even though it was with emotional behavioral um, disruptive or even anything in all children. It was special education, autism, Down syndrome, things like such as that, emotional behavior. Children are more resilient and observant. So they know who is the cause of this or that.
Mhm.
Yes, they are easily manipulated. That
Mhm.
is true. But when you are pure and you have a children who are old enough to understand what is going on, you're not going to lose out. Yes, they can be manipulated. That is true, but under different circumstances for different people.
Yeah,
All right,
people
then
don't know about that, about how kids can tell you what's really going on with
that's
the number.
right. They can spot a narcissist with, I mean, quick.
They'll,
They
they'll
will
tell
tell you,
you.
oh, mommy or
My mom
daddy,
used to
this
say to me,
person.
"I don't like him," and I used to think about, oh, just because she wouldn't like anybody. But it goes further when they keep saying it to you a certain way, and they have a bad attitude. When you challenge your child to be, you know, at least respected to adults, but your child is just disrespected to this person, and you challenge them to be respected, you have to stop and listen to that child because they
Mhm.
are telling you more than you think that they're trying to say to you. And that's
Right.
probably what I thought in my hindsight, but I took it with a grain of salt. But because I said, okay, maybe she is right. But then the thing is this person would do and say, it just kept adding up and adding up. This person would be jealous of me and my daughter's time that we would go out to dinner because I would always
No, this is
channel.
what they do.
I would have
That is
a date
true.
night, me and my daughter, date night. This guy would call, text. We're in the middle of date night with my daughter. He would text me, "You okay? What are you doing? Everything okay?" Like, wait a minute. I told you I'm out with my daughter on date night. Who do you think I'm out with?
Because hello, he thought that you were out doing the same
Oh
thing as he was
yeah, as
doing.
he was doing. And I would say to him, don't tell yourself. So it wasn't enough to say that. It was like, wait a minute, this guy is really on a whole other level.
Yeah, I mean the people with normal I never say the word normal because normal is relative.
Right.
Especially when you're dealing and I have a special education background. I would say typical. People with a typical
Yeah.
frame of thinking do not have anything about or anything against you and your
Right.
child or your
Right. But that was
family.
before he ever
So
came along. So why not respect that?
We're
He
talking
never
about
respected that.
it's emotional intelligence is what we're talking about, and like a narc lacks that entirely.
Totally.
definitely so. And now we have so let's see. I'm going to read a few before I move on to more of the. I'm going to give you guys some verses, but let me see. Shaman of Truth says, I have gaps of memory that are gone because of the horrible abuse my mother trying to drown me and my sisters. She had the nerve to make up new memories of her being a good mother. Yeah, that's that. That's
Wow.
that gaslighting.
That's
That is that gaslighting because they don't ever actually admit to it. We know as far as how we study in school about narcissism with children, we notice it's deep rooted shame and it causes a strike to a child's or a person's ego. But when it boils down to it, they are trying to deflect
right. No
the
accountability. Yeah.
there's no there's no anything with them. They
No.
can't do any wrong. They're
No.
not ever wrong. They don't
Yeah.
apologize for anything,
No.
and
Oh, no.
you made it up.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's how you
All
know
right.
a parent is a narcissist because they will never apologize or never say, this happened. I apologize. This happened or situation.
course
They would
not.
never say that.
No, of course not. All right, so Annie, how are you, Annie? I haven't seen you in a while. How's everything going over there?
Yeah, I wanted to just chime in on the part that the narcissist will never apologize. They will. My ex-husband, he would apologize, and after his apology, he would then say, "I would never have done those things if you hadn't."
To say if it wasn't for you, they'll go back to blaming you.
And take the whole apology away.
That's right. Ooh, goodness gracious, that's the truth right there.
That's not a real apology then at all.
No, it's the gaslighting because you're like, wow, that person got it. They really got it. Because they'll tell you everything. You don't have to come up with anything. They'll tell you all of it. And then they'll blame you for all of it.
That's right. They surely will. And then we have Not Free Living saying when you're in a safe space to unpack and process them, they'll return so fast that you can heal from what happened to you. And she says, Not Free Living says, yep, they take no accountability. And then Mike says, oh my gosh, I just got a text from my soon to be ex yesterday. The same thing. I'm telling you, this is how you know this is a spirit as opposed to a toxic person. A toxic person, yes, they're toxic, but a narcissist, it's a cycle. So they run on that same love bomb. They say the same things, then the discard, the devalue, then the discard, then the hoover, then you start, the rumination. This is a cycle. It is a cycle. That's the difference between a narcissist and just a toxic person. It's different. And so now I want everyone to listen here. We're about to get into the meat of the matter. Do you hear me? Now, when you're with a narcissist in that toxic sewer, toxic waste of a relationship, or even friendship, or even a work relationship with co-workers and things like that. When they're gaslighting you and doing the smear campaign, sometimes it will be other narcissists or other coworkers or other friends or family of the narcissist that may have lied to you to uphold the narcissist image. They may have had friends cover for them while they're off with the new supply, aka the new victim. Maybe their family knew about the affair while you were married to the narcissist. Now, instead of having a heart-to-heart conversation with the narcissist, the family, actually supported the narcissist cheating. They supported and defended the immoral behavior. Contrary to popular belief, scriptures tell us that people who condone evil are just as wicked as the evil doer. Now, where does that say that? I'm glad you asked. Proverbs 17:15. Acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent, the Lord detests them both. Both, emphasis on both. BOTH. That means both of them. From this verse, you'll read that God hates the evildoer and the person who condones this evil. Especially if you're a child trying to live right. This is especially true. Then you get to Isaiah 5:20. That states, woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who turn darkness to light and light to darkness, who replace, listen to this, bitter with sweet and sweet with bitter. That is in Isaiah 5:20. The scriptures continue to describe how the wicked and those who support evil will not be spared from the wrath of the Most High. That's not going to happen. They won't be spared. They're not going to go unpunished. That's not going to happen. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. I'll say it again. This is Proverbs 17:13. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. How many of you, let's really think about it. Let's think back and reflect. Evil will not depart from the narcissist's house. Think about the family of a narcissist. Yes, there are very few families of a narcissist who do well for themselves. They have, here and there, some questionable things, but there's very few families that do well from themselves. Majority of the time, the narcissist family lives a life of either sickness, never leaving their home, poverty, never leaving their homes. Some of them have a life of grief and depression that can never seem to leave their family. I mean, every time you turn around, there's some type of tragedy. Somebody getting shot, somebody died. I mean, why is that? Why is it so much evil going on in their house? So much evil in their home. They lack a lot of things that they just getting by. Why is that? I'll tell you why. Proverbs 17:13. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil will not depart from their house. This is a principle. And for those who are listening and may not be familiar with more scriptures, Proverbs are like keys. They're like keys or principles on principles or keys on life, how to life, how to live right, how to just function in this world. That's the wisdom. That's the Proverbs. Think about the narcissist family again. Think about it. Evil will not depart from their house. Whoever rewards evil for good, all the good you did for that narcissist and their family, just to turn around and say, "Ooh, he think he this and he think he that and she thinks she this and that." What do you mean? I did so much good for you and your family. Okay, so you guys are rewarding evil for good. And now you wonder why the narcissist family has all this death, destruction, poverty in their life. That is because they're in the law, the principle, whoever rewards evil for good, evil will never, it will not depart from their house.
Well, I think one of the things that they're trying to do, like the whole narcissist family, is they're trying to channel that through the new supply. So that's
That's
where
right.
like they feel like they become unblemished, and that's just a lie. Is that like it's definitely spiritual warfare, or like even like in many cases like a form of witchcraft, whether it's realized or not. But that's what's happening is that when your life goes completely off kilter, no matter how good you're doing, and getting blamed for everything, and getting like just going through the ringer, like it's them trying to relinquish that dark karma, that dark reaping and sowing into you, force feed it
That's
into
right.
you.
That's right. And the fact that Nar Free Living says this is a good conversation. Yes, it is. sis. It definitely is. And CPTSD and PTSD are real. And Shaman says yes, it is. And Narc says, listen, I have been called to teach. I'm telling you, this is what I love to do. And all praises to the Most High. Your mind replays the images until they are healed and processed through. Yeah, you have to. Ooh, yeah. And please resist. You got to resist. Resist the devil. He will flee from you. That
Right.
is a principle, a
That's a
commandment.
fact. That's right.
That means it's a 100 fact. I want to heal. I don't want to be in pain anymore and shame. Well, you keep tuning in because I'm telling you, this is a channel full of believers and people that are healed. And if you're not all the way healed yet, you definitely will be.
Mm.
Keep tuning in to people that will pour into you as far as your knowledge, because through knowledge will the just be delivered. It's not
Yes.
through anything else. Through this knowledge you're getting, and that is in Proverbs 11, number 9. I didn't make that up. Through knowledge will the just be delivered.
Yes.
Somebody asked me about, do I do deliverance for narcissistic abuse? I said, well, you welcome to come and listen,
I
but
know that's
I
right.
mean, I could.
That
All I
could be a
can do,
whole other show.
talk. I'm gifted to talk.
Yes.
But you're welcome to come and listen, because through this knowledge, I'm telling you, I was delivered. I was
Mm.
delivered. And I there's been a supernatural experience where I know that this is what I'm meant to do.
Yes.
I just say that.
Yes.
Um, and then we have Nar Free Living saying so true, generational curses and ancestral altars 100% true,
Mm.
because that spirit could be the same
Mm-hmm.
spirit that's in your lineage. And we talked about that a few
Mm-hmm.
lives back. Let's see. Yes, you will be healed and set free. That's right. And then Shaman of Truth says, wow, and thank you. Now, also, oh, Annie and Michael, anyone want to chime in?
I just want to say something about children, um,
Yes.
especially thinking about Mike too. So like time is not something you can ever get back, and that is the most painful part of this experience. The witchcraft part of it is so very true. Children are so very bright. Their stars are so very bright, but they also become empty vessels, and whatever is poured into them, they fill up with. And I've seen this happen with my children where they almost are like Jekyll and Hyde, and like there's definitely something that's challenging them, and like I have to rebuke it and call it out. And I just want to say, like, for anybody who's going through that, like, you're not crazy, first of all, and second of all, be patient with yourself and know you're not acting alone. And like, because I know that that's the thing, like, a lot of us that are going through this like want to carry everything on our own shoulders. We have to be able to recognize like when it's a moment that we can't carry it anymore and ask for the Holy Spirit, the Most High, to intervene on our behalf. And as hard as this sounds, praying for them, and even like when you enter a place of understanding what they are, demonic, witchcraft, it's all illusionary. And you know that behind all those masks, they're so very small. And
Mhm.
so in that moment, praying for them reveals that weakness, and they have to process that which they try to filter through you. And so the children have no business being in the middle of it. And so just like that mic drop moment, by the way, yeah, and like when you're talking about pushing the kid off the couch, I mean, oh my God, that speaks volumes. But like,
Good.
let me tell you, the thing about that's the most dangerous is that those kids become so easily manipulated by it because basically in the moment they're in a position where I just got a phone call, so I'm a little distracted. Of course, it's the narc, but so
Okay.
I just want to say that like they're going to be manipulated, right? So they're going to the material goods and all those other things like in that moment, like it's going to feel like it's better than what you can offer. But kids know what is really filling their cup, and they'll see natural and real love.
Yeah, it's hard because I feel like the narcissist family, I feel like they aid them in their toxic behavior because as long as they have a supply, then they're not the source or they're not the person the narcissist is attacking. So,
Wow.
so they help
Oh yeah,
them
go ahead. Go
keep a
ahead. Go ahead.
supply.
Chime in.
So that's it. That's all I wanted to say because that's what I for me what I noticed that it was.
So you're saying like they help the narcissistic parent,
No,
as in,
the narcissistic parent helps the child
oh, got,
because if the child doesn't have a new supply or a supply, they attack the parent.
oh, oh, that's something to think about, huh? Oh
Yeah.
wow. What do y'all think about that now? Now, I didn't really think about it like that.
What did you say, Annie? I got knocked off.
Okay. I said when the parents of the narcissist, they will help them. They'll aid them in their toxic behavior because when there's not a supply or a new supply, then that parent becomes the target.
Absolutely. That becomes a bad triangle. And like I'm very familiar with this. Like and it's like it's so like it's dangerous to needle that thread or walk on that razor edge because you
Mm-hmm.
know that like they're gonna start bashing the parent and then like as soon as
That's
that
right.
happens, it's gonna switch back to you and it's all
Right.
gonna fall on you at that point.
Wow, that is so true. I mean, because we often think about like the parents, but what if, we got to think about like the children's point of view also.
Well, they've learned the behavior already. They've learned it. And
Mm,
sometimes subconsciously they've learned how to cope with whatever's going on by relating to the issues that they've dealt with, that they've seen of this parent behaviorally. Because kids are inept into understanding behaviorally more than communicative. They will react as if whatever they've seen more so how they communicate.
right, right, right. Hmm. Yeah, that's something to think about too.
I
Wow.
mean, the supply chains are real too, because like it's such a complex like ecosystem because like it's parent to kid and kid to parent, and there's like definitely like a feeding going on, and it's like none of their cups can ever be full, and it
Right.
just keeps going.
Never. Yeah, because kids are sometimes, they can't communicate. They learn by seeing. They learn by what they see in the behavior of the parents. Hence, why we see kids are EBD I'm sorry, I can't say that because some kids just are don't know how to adapt, so they kind of just behave. So I'll retract that. But a lot of times when you're of age, those kids of age and they notice the parents acting out, they will sort of see that and pattern that behavior. You see a
I don't
child.
know because I remember being in a preschool classroom and
Hmm,
these kids were so bad.
don't make me
I'm like,
laugh.
there ain't no way you learned that,
I have
buddy.
some
You
stories
was
about little
born.
kids,
You were born with that.
3-year-olds,
No,
EBD, looking up
listen
kids.
here,
Oh,
babies. You hear me, baby? They're not even one yet. I'm
Well,
like, listen
that's.
here.
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, like, if it, as a spiritual thing, you have to understand that the spirit is being channeled through them. So it's like
oh,
you think
yes.
about like there's like a combination. There's always a combination of things. They're like nature versus nurture. Of course,
Mhm.
there's
Right,
never a spiritual part in that too. But like, of course, the behavior is being modeled, and there's like
right.
an understanding there. But there's also a channeling where it's like you will be like me,
Uh,
and that's like the severe ego complex of the narcissist.
oh, and the
Well,
child has
I'm not
no
gonna see what
idea of what's going on, though. The child has no idea. It's a subconscious thing.
yeah, it's like automatic muscle memory. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
this
just
is what
see
they
it,
are.
they model it. I
Yeah.
mean, I had a kid, this is special ed, and I remember this little 3-year-old. We were concerned that every time they would come in, a teacher would kneel down. The kid would run to the teacher and find his way up under her, to look up under her. And we were like, "Oh my gosh, where is he getting that from?"
Like look up under her
Her
as
butt, like he would look up
oh my
under
god.
her. Every
Listen
time a
here.
teacher would kneel down or stoop over, the 3-year-old would run from wherever he was in the room and would just look up under her, find a
Ooh.
way to look up on her butt. And we were like, why is he doing that? Where is
Well,
that coming from?
Because
well,
that
I'll,
spirit
oh
is
goodness
not
It
a
gracious.
had
choice.
to be modeled somewhere where
No,
he saw
it's not modeled.
someone
It's a
doing.
spirit. It's
Oh,
not
Mm-mm.
and I
modeled.
understand that, but I mean, at the time, I didn't get that, but now I get it. Like,
Yeah, but don't say it's definitely that. I've had less than that ask me questions about I can't even say it on the air.
he was a
That's how
3-year-old
bad
child.
it was.
3-year-old child.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
had
that
less.
I was just gonna say, I think part of it, like, is that like sort of like what I understand about it is that the modeling creates a door
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
for the
Mm-hmm.
spirit to access.
Oh yeah, he was definitely that vulnerable
Because
to be
because
accessed to
when
that.
you're open to it, right? So the openness of understanding, and of course, like you're going through all of your developmental places in that moment. So a door can be easily opened for something dark to occupy the space.
Definitely so. I 100% agree. And just I remember starting out teaching very early children, baby to 1 years old, and a few kids did things that were so questionable to the point where we're like, what we need to call authorities and see what's going on in the home. Come to find out, there was nothing like that. This was just in the kid's nature. So, I mean, I'm talking about disturbing acts below the age of 1. No modeling, no of that. None of the mimicking, none of that. This was in the kid's nature. So, I'm not saying all the kids are like that or you use your own discernment. But, as a parent or any type of parent, even teachers are parents for a lot of times of the year. You're with these students more than they're at home. So, yes, you are a parent in that aspect. If you're not, you don't have your biological children like that, but you're teaching, that is a form of parenting. And, that's
Oh, what happened?
I think you went out again, yeah.
You
I
see
don't
how?
hear. Okay.
Okay, I'm here. So the last point that I was saying was, if you're on my other page, Kingdom Keys Teaching, I talked about soul fragmentation. That spirit that gets you rejected or fragments your soul, aka causes a trauma, it wants to come in a child's life as young as possible, because that will form a what I call like a hole, or not necessarily a hole, but of course it is a trauma, but in a technical way, people like to say a soul fragmentation. I talk about it a lot on my other channel, Kingdom Keys Teaching, where I go much more in the biblical side than over here. But yes, that is true. They get younger and younger. I'm telling you, especially with me working with these children under the age of 1 years old. When I first started, how does a 1 year old have ODD, which is opposite, like a behavior disorder, like you do the opposite of it, or EBD at 1 years old, touching themselves, doing things such as that? Where would a baby get that from? There's no history of molestation or anything like that. So you have to think, wait a minute, there's something, I'm telling you. But okay, we're just gonna keep moving on.
Seeds
Anyone
of,
want to
seeds
chime
of
in before?
seeds of the good fruit for the good tree, and seeds of the bad fruit for the bad tree. And unfortunately, in that moment too, like I mean, like you know, there can be corruption that takes place. Obviously, you're saying there's no evidence of it, so you're just seeing the seeds of the bad fruit.
I'm telling you, every seed produces after its own kind, and that is scripture. That's why in my book I talk about the Nephilim. Every seed produces after its own kind.
Wow.
What are the fallen? What are the characteristics of the fallen? The R wording, I can't say it on the YouTube live. R wording, like essay, actual assault. You have the coercion of, bombarding themselves, robbery, teaching things that are inappropriate. Every seed produces after its own kind. No, I'm not saying every child is of a narcissist is corrupt. I'm not saying that. But you definitely have to use discernment and realize, okay, something ain't right with this seed. Something is not right. And just like when, in the Old Testament, hey, when Yahuwah said, spare no one, that means leave quickly, leave everybody. All right. Now, let's see. Yeah, Shaman says spirit of perversion, and they say that is why I refuse to have kids or get married, to break the cycle. That is why my family hates me. I cut off the tree. I mean, that's relative. You never know. I mean, when you're married and you have a child, you do it the right way and things like that. Even you just stay prayed up. That's all I got to say. Stay prayed up. You never know where life could take you. Now, the narcissist does not go unpunished. When you live a life of manipulation, constant lying, swindling, and manipulating people to get your way, they're not going to go unpunished. Psalms 37 says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut off like grass and wither as the green herb. Punishment may not happen right away for their family, because the Most High gives everybody a chance to get it right, everybody a chance to repent. And also, we talked about this before too, sometimes the iniquity is not yet full. That is in scripture, meaning that means their sin has not come to the whole, it hasn't piled up yet. All the evidence isn't stacked against them yet. Okay. When they do come to that point of, punishment, do not rejoice. Okay, because Proverbs 24:17 says, caution, do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and let not your heart be glad. Don't be acting happy like, aha, he got what he got. She got what he, don't do that. It says, do not rejoice when your enemy falls. Do not let your heart be glad when he stumbles, lest the Lord see it and be displeased with who? With you, and turn his anger away from him. In a nutshell, right there, if you have pencil or paper, or you could go back and listen to the replay, Proverbs 24:17 through 18. Don't rejoice when your enemy or that narcissist falls. Don't let your heart be glad when he stumbles, lest the Lord sees it and he will be displeased and turn his anger away from the narcissist. He'll turn his anger away from him. Go ahead. Oh wait, somebody's off mute. Annie, did you want to chime in?
I was just gonna say that's the hard part for me is
Yeah.
uh, to not be like, yes, you finally got what was coming to you. That is
Right?
like I almost rather not know.
I just it's gonna sound counterintuitive, but I feel very sad for them. And it's not a pity. It's just that like I pray in that moment
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I think that like the thing is like when you've really gone through the ringer, um, and like you've been spiritually tested, um, you see how sad it is for them to live their life in that way. And like
Mhm.
in that moment I have to pray for that person. Like, and I've never been the type of person that could ever like have any kind of like if somebody fell on their face or something like that, I'm not quick to
Right,
laugh.
me too. Yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
it just feels like the inappropriate way to respond to anything, to gloat.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's like
And
good
you know the
sportsmanship. You're
narcissist
supposed to keep
loves
that
to
on.
gloat about things. They love to flaunt the new supply in your face, flaunt the smear campaign in your face. And people like us, we're not even like that to retaliate.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm like if I laugh and be like that type of person, I'm afraid that it might come back on me. So I just like do it my face. I'm not even gonna follow you to even figure out or even want to know what happened to you because I know vengeance is not mine, and I know something's gonna happen
Yes,
to me.
ma'am.
So I've already moved on.
Yeah, well, that's my thing. I just separate myself, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm quick to block. I will block you.
That's
I
right.
will, if I have to, I will change my telephone number,
I will
and I
block
will
them.
move myself from your presence
That's right.
altogether. And I don't allow other people to talk to me about that person because I don't want to hear it because I know they're coming to tell me about the victim
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and what happened to that person, and because I know that there are many victims. And so I didn't even get mad when the person approached me and told me, well, I'm with your husband and blah, blah, blah. I didn't even get mad because I was kind of like, oh,
Mm.
this is my out, let me take my out. You thank you,
Oh
you
yes,
gave me my
yes.
out.
You know, some people are actually searching for a way out and be like, how can I leave this person? How could I do that? And then when they get out, you know what pulls them back in? The rumination, aka the what if this or what if that. This could have been that. Rumination is a setup from Satan. Yes, I said it. It is a setup. It's a war on your mind, in your mind. It is a
Mhm,
war, a battle between what you logically know and what is your feelings. And it,
mhm.
it definitely is a setup, that rumination of the fantasy that could have been. It's sad, I'm telling you.
Yeah. And I
Now,
think that for me,
go ahead.
that didn't set in until maybe a year after we had been apart.
Oh
That set in.
wow.
Yes, because at first I was just so happy to not be feel the gaslighting.
Gotcha. That's right. That gaslighting. You know what really irks me? It's got to be the love bomb for me. Cause I'm
Mhm.
like, that love bomb is how they reel you in, and it's all of it's a lie. I'm like, how can you lie like that?
Yeah, it's so
You know?
blatant that we forget
Yes.
how blatant it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who does that?
And it makes it very hard because someone else can be genuine with their feelings, but
Right.
then you can no longer your it's like your gauge is broke.
Well, that's
Hmm.
just it. If someone's
That's
genuine, they don't come on that strong like that.
That is very true
If
now. That
someone is
is true.
genuine, you kind of know they're gonna kind of just tip it back a little bit, like back when you were in high school or something. It was
Yeah,
so
what's
innocent.
the rush? What is
It
that
was,
song with what's the song back in the day?
oh my
Ooh,
God,
was I
there's
even
so
born
many.
yet? But it was Janet Jackson. I know it's an old school song by
Oh
Janet Jackson.
Lord,
Oh, I
oh,
know what it is.
no, no, no,
Let's wait a while.
it's been
What
a
is the
while.
rush
Mhm.
though? Like, what's the rush? I'm trying
Exactly.
to figure this out. Like,
Mm,
why when you see me after 2 weeks, you
uh-huh.
want to get married and have children right now?
We belong together after what, 3 days, dude? I just,
Not
you know
3
what I
days.
mean?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, the truth is not that apparent. Like when you know someone's genuine, they don't come on strong like that. Hey, how
Well,
you
there's
doing? Da 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 da. Here's my number. I like you. I'll wait for you to call. Like I remember that. That was back in so long ago. I have yet to feel that feeling from someone that wasn't so eager to manipulate.
But that's
there's a
the
lot of
confusing part to me because when I was in high school and you met a guy and he liked you and you liked him, and it was just like you guys would be best friends and you just hang out and you talk on the phone and things like that. And there was
Exactly.
no urgency because you're teenagers. What are you going to do? Nothing. So,
Right.
there wasn't the urgency to it, but it was the I want to be around you and I want to talk to you,
That's what it's about.
euphoric
That's what it's
feeling.
about. There,
And but now it's so different, and we're in this like fast food microwave
that's the
love
problem.
thing.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there. It don't have to be. You don't have to
it's
be a fast food person.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
a lot a
We're
lot of
not
it.
fast food. No.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm the only guy in the room, so
Go ahead,
um,
Mike.
Yes, please go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, like, I feel like there's a lot of like insecurity in the person that has that strong of an attachment at the get because, like, you can tell that they haven't filled their own cup. And
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
the problem with reality today is that everything is social media, everything is instant gratification. I like that idea of the microwave love bomb. I mean, like, the thing of it is that, like, right now, like when we're on our phone, we're scrolling, we're getting likes on Facebook, whatever it is, that creates an oxytocin response, and you're having cortisol when you're not getting the response, and it's this drug. And so, like, we've really learned that there's only one type of love, and that's what we're being groomed for, is that there's only eros, there's only lust. And
Mm-hmm.
like love is not about just that. Like that is the like the final, like when you make a perfume, it's the ninth scent that like brings the whole thing together.
Yes.
Like
Yes. My
that comes from like after you've developed a spiritual connection with somebody,
Right.
and then like a mental connection with somebody and a friendship. Like you should be friends with the person that you're like really going to be committed to, because like if you haven't taken that time to get there, then like what is it about? It's just a trauma bond, and that's it, you
Mm.
know.
right. And if
And
they say we've been friends for so long, and if we don't hit it by this time, I'm gonna dismiss young people. If you're listening, if someone says
Oh
that to
wait,
you,
pause. Wait a minute. We can't just say young people because let
well,
me tell
okay,
you,
my
there
bad.
is so many older women and men
Okay,
that
young and
are
old. young in thought, and I'm saying because
Not young in thought.
we forget that it's not about you being in a relationship and having to hit it after so long of a period. Because what they have this thing about, or if we haven't been in a relationship, what, 3 months or 6 months, or I don't even know anymore. If we haven't been intimate in 3 months and we're not going to be together, I don't even understand it anymore because I'm so out of that loop. Is beyond me. But back in the day, it was a time limit to if we were intimate, and they would say that to you. We've been talking for so long, so when are we going to get together? No. It doesn't have to be that.
No, I mean that's where everything's like all backwards and wrong. It's like when you can't ask somebody for a kiss. You can't ask somebody for something like that. Like it is the chemistry that just happens, right? And like it's just so important. Like, you know, if everything else it's just like that driver on the road that's right behind you that like speeds past you and then gets to the same stoplight one car in front of you. Like just because everybody else is speeding to that light doesn't mean the rest of us need to be. And like just embrace it and just let it flow. I mean, if it's meant to be, it will be. It'll happen. It'll be like poetry. And that poetry can't be forced.
And there's that narc making you feel like you have to rush it to get to his point of view or her point of view so they can do what they need to do in the love bombing stage. So there's the problem.
I gotta bow out, and I just want to say, Annie, I've been thinking about you. I'm so glad that you're here. So
me too. Everybody. I'm so happy you're back tonight. For sure. I've been looking forward to talking to you here. All right, Michael, have a good one. And Annie, I'm just so happy you're back and everything like that. And you know, hopefully everything's going good on your end. Your end, girl. But yeah, I just want to Annie, did you want to chime in with anything else before we just wrap it up?
No, that's it.
Everybody good? But you know, I just have to put an emphasis on it doesn't matter the age, because you know, this loop of a toxic waste relationship. And I do mean toxic waste, because you know what toxic waste is? You can't touch it. Or you'll get, get affected by its effects. Like you're not supposed to touch it. You're not supposed to do anything with it. This is a toxic waste of a relationship that whoever is listening on the replay, that we were in. It is trash.
Yes.
That's right. Shaman, toxic waste trash. He's got the bucket up there. Do y'all see that? She's got the bucket up there. I see. It is toxic waste of a relationship. I'm telling you guys.
It's smelly, stinky, and everything else.
I mean, sewer water, septic tank, underwater well from back 1840. That's what kind of relationship.
Well, you smell it years to come, because I've told you, like, this relationship that I was in was years ago, and then by having this forum, it's kind of revealed to me things that I didn't think that was affecting me, and here I am still talking about it. So this is the toxic waste that still lives in.
That's right.
Yep, I call it.
Put the turds on there.
I call it the spiritual STD.
Okay,
because it's a sexually transmitted demon.
That's a good one. For real.
Explain that to the people.
And you hate to think that this is what's led to it.
Oh my God.
Talking about it, it helps releases the toxins from your body and your mind and spirit.
Because look at these turds with them eyeballs on there. On the
Narc-free living got some turds for sure.
Look at them turds on there, y'all.
Yes, honey, you gotta talk about it to release it, honey, because these narcissists, they're just gonna hold on to it for life. No.
Definitely not. The devil is a lie.
It's a lie.
Okay.
We release all the toxic demons from us. For real.
And the turds. All All right, y'all. Okay, so we just gonna this is for you. Listen, if people could just see, and I don't
Mm, 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 mm,
listen, it is serious out
mm.
here. The spiritual
I
realm is
rebuke
real.
all those narcissistic tendencies from me. All
Oh
rebuke,
yeah,
rebuke, rebuke. All y'all can just go on and flee from here
go on the
because
toilet.
I'm done.
Mike said you need to let it out, flush it.
Okay, Mike. I believe it.
Flush all of them. Do you hear me?
Oh, honey.
All right.
Mm-mm,
Okay.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
All right.
Johnny.
So then Poppy, he finishes out with saying, I hope you heal quickly, Shaman. Yes, we all in our community, my
Yes.
channel is new, are fairly new. I mean, under a
Oh,
year, I would say that. But
yeah.
I'm myself, I'm not, new to the terms and the whole
Ooh,
atmosphere. But as far as socially, yeah, the
ooh,
channel is new. And I hope everyone grabs a copy of When Satan Plays Matchmaker, exploring the spiritual side of
very
narcissism.
good book. That's my go-to right there. I have it on my coffee
Oh,
table. So
thank you so much.
I
I
don't have
really
to come over
appreciate it.
often, but when they come over, it's like, oh, what's this?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You
Thank
need
you,
to know. You need to know.
thank you so much for anyone that has supported. I mean, you can find it on Amazon. Um,
Mhm.
just working on more mass distribution. And oh, thank you. Mike said the book
Yes,
is
it is.
amazing.
It is amazing. It's like a
Thank
reference to
Yeah.
all these.
you. Yep. Bring your
Because
highlighter.
there's nothing like this to help you understand. We
I
talk
go
about
into
it,
the
but to put
Nephilim.
it
I
into
go into
perspective.
Lilith. I go into that vampire type spirit Lilith and all her
Mhm.
wicked or his,
Mm.
because these spirits, they don't have they're unisex, all of their disgusting ways. We go
Wow.
into
It's
the
like you can have
familiar
a book on
spirits.
each one of those. It's like you can have a book on each one of those because it's like, what is that about? Like
You
people
really
don't
could.
understand it.
Say it again, Annie.
I said you really could because a lot of these, especially, well, I'm not even going to say younger people, just for people who aren't familiar, it really needs to be broken down and explain what
Yes,
they're looking at and why they found themselves attracted,
that's right.
to these spirits.
I mean, I'm telling you, if I didn't write this book myself, I would be saying, "Hey, get this book." But it's almost like I didn't write it because when I was actually physically writing it, I remember the Most High would give me something and be like, just write this down, write it down, write it down. And I'm telling you, this is, I mean, it's a labor of love. Um, so now we're just gonna close out. Yes, and yeah, you know what? Let me just pause for a second. Narc Free Living, this lady right here is such a bigger channel than me, bigger than mine. And I reached out, and well, actually, her husband found me on TikTok, and so I didn't even know, that I've seen Narc Free Living before. I heard of the name, but I didn't know those two were connected. And it just so happened I ended my live last week early, and I saw her husband Solomon on online live on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, let me just, I'm listening. I listen when I can to other channels. And I'm like, wow. And it just so happened that they, noticed me talking and things like that. And they say, you know what? We aren't gatekeepers here. And they actually mentioned my book. They mentioned me and my channel and things like that. And I just want to say, thank you publicly. I said thank you before, but I just, some people, you never know really what's going on. And there's so many gatekeepers, and there's enough room for all of us to shine. You know what I mean? There's no one is trying to take
Yes.
anyone's
That's
spot.
right.
There's no one
That's
Mhm.
trying.
right.
There's enough room for all of us to shine.
Right.
And one thing about me, I'm not anyone to say, hey, this person might do this. I don't do that. I don't do it because I have a pure heart. I have a pure intention, and the goal is to bring more people to the the master, the
Right.
Messiah, Yahusha, the Messiah, Jesus of Nazareth.
Get the word
That
out.
is the goal. The goal is to get the word out. That's the goal. It's not for my shine or anybody's shine. So I had to tell her personally. I said, you know what? Thank you for even responding, because as for me, I like to introduce myself, and we're along the same field, and we're talking. We notice each other. I mean, that's just inevitable. And I just wanted to, reach out. I've been reaching out to people. I mean, I haven't heard anything, but that's bless their heart. I haven't heard
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It is enough room out there. We're not intimidated by anybody.
Right.
The
That's
goal
right.
is to get people in the kingdom and to
Mhm.
win souls to the
Blessings
kingdom
to
and to
be
bring
bestowed
people
on
back
each other.
to the
That's
word of the Most High. That is the goal.
mm.
That don't ever forget that. If anybody's listening on the replay, the goal is to get more people up into the kingdom and to spread the word as we are commanded to do.
Come on
That's a
now.
commandment. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, y'all. Look it up. Look it
That's
up.
right.
It doesn't have to mean you're up here preaching and teaching and things like that.
Mm.
But I do know that, I had my own experience where I said, I have to, I had a different calling in my life. I'll just say that. But if you're out and you're about in your daily activities, and it just so happened something comes up, yeah, you tell that person about your
That's
faith.
right.
Yeah, you tell somebody about the
Right.
narcissism is actually spiritual. You tell that person that. There's no
Lead by the
reason to
word.
hide it or anything like that.
Lead by the word.
That's right.
Come
And
on.
hey, faith-based workplace. Hello, everyone. And then Barbara says, "Amen. Your blessing is not a slap in my face. I want to see everybody win. I'm telling you, we want to see everyone win, y'all. And I'm going to close out. Shaman of Truth says, "Thank you for not judging me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." And if you have not gotten the book yet, it's called When Satan Plays Matchmaker, Exploring the Spiritual Side of
Yes.
Narcissism. It
Very
is
good.
something that you have not read before. I go into the Nephilim, Absalom. I mean, just different scenarios. And I just hope everyone is blessed by what I am talking about. And I would like to connect with everyone more. And it just really warms my heart. I'm holding back tears trying, it just warms my heart to see everybody out. All right, so let's all just, any closing remarks before I pray it out?
Thank you for being
That's
here.
it.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Any closing remarks, Annie? Everybody else left, y'all.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. All right. So let's all pray. Father, we come to you with a heart of praise and thanksgiving and a heart of repentance. Father, your word says that your people perish for lack of knowledge.
Mm.
Therefore, Father, open our eyes, our minds, our souls, and our heart to your knowledge, that we also know that according to Proverbs 11:9, that through this knowledge shall the just be delivered. Father, send your Ruach HaKodesh, aka the Holy Spirit, to break every evil covenant, every evil altar risen up against us, to break every legal grounds for the enemy to send us a lying spirit, such as a narcissist. Father, we decree all retaliations from Satan and his agents forbidden now and forever.
Yes.
Father, anyone who may be struggling with the schemes of a narcissist, help them to resist the enemy. For your word says, resist the devil and he will flee. Father, just like how you restored what the locusts had eaten in Joel, restore unto us the time wasted in the wrong relationship with the wrong people. No longer will we go throughout this life ignorant. Father, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts, Father. Create in us a new heart and give us more discernment. Sharpen our discernment, Father. Open the people's eyes, just how you've done me. Open their eyes, Father, so they can see that this is a spiritual battle. Father, please open our eyes, forgive us of our sins, and we give you, Yahuwah Almighty, the Lord Almighty, we give you all the praise, all the glory, all the esteem, all the everything, Father, in the mighty and matchless name of your Son, Jesus of Nazareth, aka Yahushua HaMashiach. Father, we love you and we thank you. I can't wait to see you again next Wednesday. Thank you so much, everyone. Please get your
Yes.
copy of Stay in Place Matchmaker. I'm telling you, you could even listen to it on Audible. The man who did the Audible, the sound, the narration, he said he was changed by that book. That's
Yes.
how powerful it is.
Woo!
Love
All right.
you. Bye.
I mean, good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night, everybody.